So, hi everyone. So this is the Women in Road Ecology session. It's meant to be quite informal and just for like a sort of a seed meeting for everybody to meet each other. This actually came out of an initiative which wasn't my own. It was led by Daniela, who's based in South America. And she kind of collected people through I guess, through email addresses and through conference attendances from previous and initiated this network. And we just thought to have an in-person version of the meeting for people to meet each other all together. So I technically am hosting it, but I'm not sure, I'm not really hosting anything. It's more for everybody to sort of share who they are and what they do and how they feel like they're connected to the network, and also to explain what they would like to see come from this network, if this is something that they want to see moving forward. So it's a bit disappointing because I thought we would have people on video, and maybe Charlotte can solve our problems.
I'll try to help you.
Yeah.
The computer, okay?
Cool.
By your side.
Yeah, maybe for the people that are online, if you want to, is it going through an email? If you want to sort of make a little blurb about yourselves, and I can read them out, or someone can read them, and otherwise, cool, thanks. So I'm Manisha. So I'm a postdoc. I work in Germany at the moment. So I work at the University of Freiburg. And what got me into this network was rather just by knowing everybody and knowing people and just wanting to continue to work with really great researchers across the network. And I guess on my side, I would like to see this the network grow a bit. I don't want to make it an exclusive thing that it can only be women, or like in this era of gender identity, I don't want to sort of place anything on top of this, but it's also a place for us to have a safe space in case that's necessary, and a place for us to share experiences and continue to chat and move forward. So I might just, maybe I'll just give the microphone and we can just sort of pass it around. And if you could sort of say what you feel like getting out of the network, because as I said, we only have we have less than an hour today, so it's not like we can achieve great things, but if we get sort of seeds of what people would like to see this network doing, we can push that forward. And if you feel like committing to regular meetings or working together to creating the network a bit more. And then I can write these things down, and then we can see where it goes. So very informal. Wait, that's my idea, but does anybody or is it better that we all just sort of like chat amongst each other? I don't know. What do you guys want to see happen? All right, so we'll go with my idea since no other ideas came up. Perfect. But yeah, so everybody just chat around and yeah. Okay, why don't we do that? Everybody break out into groups. Sit with people you don't sit with, who you're not sitting with now. Go to a different edge of the room that you're not currently in and chat with people. And I'll come around with the microphone and we can share some parts of the discussion. So like maybe groups of 5, but don't sit with somebody you know.
What are the questions that you are asking for each other?
Once they move around, I'll just give them questions. I don't know what to do.
I love you. Okay. What are the questions I can write in the chat that?
What they think some challenges are that they face, and also what they would like to see from the network. Like what kind of outcomes, what kind of deliverables do they want to see come from
This session?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the session, but the network, the Women in Road Ecology group.
Okay, great.
All right, and once you're ready and in your groups, I just want to reiterate, think about things like sort of what you feel are maybe challenges or things that you've experienced, but also where you would like to see this kind of a group or this kind of network go. So like if you can identify some gaps that need filling. Cool. And then I'll write them down later. Ooh.
What are the challenge as a woman? Or for the woman?
Or what are your challenges or your experiences?
Wait. Okay, what are the challenge for you?
For women, for you.
Yeah, because there is also men.
Yeah, and also like why does it have to be restricted that only women face health?
But we do.
We face some unique things perhaps, but
Oui, you're right.
I don't know how to make this inclusive and exclusive at
Yes,
the same time, you know?
you're right here. Right here. And how many times do they have? How much time they have?
We can give them
20 minutes from them.
what time
Okay.
does it finish? Okay, let's give them 10, 15 minutes because then for 15 minutes I'll write on the board.
Okay.
Find a group and chat and we're talking about the expectations.
Can you put 2 more people for the dinner tonight?
Oui, Hansen is fine.
Hansen is fine.
Yes, I got you. Thank you. I put the logo OBB also.
Oh, wonderful.
My pleasure. No, it's an honor. I've seen Women in Road Ecology. I didn't know it was now, but I knew I wanted to participate. So actually, I'm really pleased.
And I got kind of put into facilitating it, but I'm not leading the group. Like, I'm just a
But
member of it.
you've got facilities to do it.
The thing with the Zoom is that it's for the guests, for the or with the online presenters. The others only it's job. With
It's going to make our workshop really tough, actually.
but you are tough lady, so we have no.
Please explain from the Yang Network. One thing also, we could ask the group that after 20 minutes or 15 minutes, they choose one person in the group to to summarize what they said in 2 minutes.
Hello? Yeah, so just recognizing that we don't have heaps of time, we should be done this session at 10 past. I'll give you guys like a 5-minute warning, but maybe we can chat for the next 10 minutes, and then if you can nominate somebody in your group to just summarize what you were discussing. Somehow I'm making you guys do all the work for me.
about something. Yeah, and us, do you want to have a small group with me? Do you want to have a small group?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk.
Oh,
Let's do it.
because actually we could also chat with Wendy.
Yeah, great.
She's starting.
Yeah.
She said, "Hi everyone, I'm Wendy. I work for a conservation NGO in South Africa, where I'm the project coordinator for the Wildlife and Transport Program. I have been involved with road ecology since 2011 and rail ecology since 2018. Most recently, we started a project at one of our international airports in USA looking at bird and wildlife collision prevention. Okay? I see this forum as an opportunity to discuss my experiences with other women in what has been traditionally a men-dominated field.
Nice.
Hi, I am currently retired from the Spanish Ministry from Ecological Transition, but I think we can contribute to improve.
Use only one mic for you, for your voice?
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah.
And for people,
We can have the other microphones and share them, or how do you
but
feel?
this one too, don't use it.
I'm not using them, so I'm just
Okay.
using one of them. But if you want to,
Maybe you can keep one and
give the other
one.
ones to other
one.
We
people.
have another two on
I think so.
We can have
The
one
other
more.
girls took it.
One more, I think it's
we
okay.
have another two.
Okay,
Yeah. So if you want to,
Thank
This
you.
one is yours.
okay. Great.
Perfect. Another person say that could be great.
So
And the statue, I'm gonna ask.
and then Larissa made a message as well.
I was supposed to give you a 5-minute warning, but I forgot. So you have 3 minutes. No, not 4, not 4, 3.
Time flies. Time is over, but we can write and then. Okay, great. And then we think there will be a report. Minutes. Like 5 minutes. At the end, maybe. Okay. Session will start. Person, invite you to write your name and to receive the minutes and continue the. No, it's so hard. Continue the dialogue. Okay, now. I was talking about my baby. What should I do? Oh, he didn't stop to talk. But yeah, we tried to stop and then just him everything. Yeah.
Actually, we both introduced groups. Just 1 minute, we're ending the discussion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Ready?
Okay. I'm sorry, and I'm glad that I'm cutting off the discussions because that means you guys are engaging and discussing with each other. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time for this session, which, note to program committees in the future, we need more time for us to discuss women in road ecology. There were some requests from the online platform to just reiterate and summarize what happened in the last WIRE meeting. And so that actually started, I can't remember when that was, November maybe? We had an online, we just had like a little online meeting, and that was initiated, as far as I know, by Daniela Aria, who's based in Costa Rica. And she just reached out to women that have been publishing and working in road ecology and been at the different meetings. And she just organized for us to meet online, and we just had a very quick introductory round and basically recognized the need, and that everybody felt quite positive that this was a network that we'd like to invest in. And then from there, that's where I'm sort of doing this, is just to give an opportunity for us to do this again, but in person. And so this might become a bit of a staple in meetings moving forward, should the need be felt in the network. And so that's just where this has come from. So this is really the first in-person meeting of this group. So I'm very glad that you all made time to come out and join us. And I have a little paper here. If you haven't received any of the WIRE emails previously or been part of the group before, feel free to leave your email address there. Oh, and you would like to be included, feel free to put your name and email address there, and then I can add you to the list. And however this eventuates and whatever we end up doing from here, you'll be informed at least. So you're welcome to do that. And we had some online suggestions already from Wendy Conson and from Georgina. Georgina
Alvarez.
Georgina Alvarez.
Oh. Alvarez Jimenez.
Alvarez Jimenez. Oh, I can't say that. Sorry. And basically, they had written that they would like to use this forum to share experiences, but also to lift up the status of.
She was referring to, might we want more women doing fieldwork with more responsibility, more visibility, more female researchers, policymakers?
Yeah, so maybe also being taken seriously, even if you dress in high-heeled boots, you're still a good field researcher, maybe. So it's this sort of like breaking down those boundaries and coming up with like sharing experiences and being able to lift ourselves up. And Wendy was also saying, supported by Larissa, that formalizing the network with regular meetings was something that they would like to invest in and see moving forward. So we can just sort of summarize the discussions from each of the little groups, and I'll take notes, and that's our 40 minutes up. So does everybody have a microphone? Or is there a mic? Yeah, cool. Maybe we can just start. You can choose a group. It doesn't matter. Yeah, go right ahead. Just give it to somebody.
It's working.
Okay. Do you want to? Oh, come on.
You guys.
Yes, you guys.
Okay, in our group we learned really, really important things like pissed, being drunk, and pissed off, being really cross with people. Yeah. Now that was sort of the more funny part, but again, we had too short time, and that's another typical thing about women, because we need to get to introduce ourselves and talk about where we are from and what we are doing. So we were doing what we needed to do in the time we had. So we were presenting ourselves and where we came from, and that's the start.
Who wants to take it? Hi, everybody. As you did, we also started with the presentations of ourselves. And finally, we made a conclusion about how important it is to connect together the engineers and ecologists. We find out that ecologists do this literature research, but we engineers need straight to the point guidelines, how to apply them in the field. And yeah, we agreed all about this. I think that was the most important point of our discussion. Yep. Yep. You want to add something? I think. Who wants to take it?
Okay, I'll try to sum up. Yeah, I won't take all the points in the order, but basically also we presented each other, and then we also were wondering how many women and men were at the IENE conference this year, and how it was with the previous years, and did it change, did it evolve? Yeah, and then we also discussed some of us talked about our companies and how it is. Do we have more women than men? In mine, and Marie.
we have more men than women in our company. And we had an interest. The competition, yeah, right. Yeah, it's actually a point I. Sorry. There was something about the fact that women, young women, feel that there's sometimes more competition within with other women rather than men. So that somehow. A woman more experienced than a young one will have to, how to explain that? Will make the young one pay for the consequences of the fact that this person had to suffer to go through a long experience surrounded by men. Will have to then, how to say? Sorry, I'm losing my words, but that somehow there will be more competition among women than with men. So yeah. I think it's both. Like, I mean, I experienced with more experienced women, but also I think within young ones, right? Did we mention that as well, right? Yeah, so that was one of the remarks. And other things? No. That was all from our side. And thank you.
Okay, and then from our group over here, one of the big things that was, sorry, one of the first things we discussed was women in leadership roles. Is where there's a company that's led by men, which has been a bit more traditional, sometimes they'll continue hiring on men, whereas if you get a woman in a leadership position, often it sort of opens up more opportunities, bring in more women, and that's one thing we discussed. Another thing we discussed was, in general, a lot of us found we did have a number of women within our companies, but we did have more issues externally than our company. Is sometimes, particularly working with technical people, so working with the engineers, construction people, the external, is sometimes as ecologists, we're not taken quite as seriously as women comparatively. So I brought up examples compared to some of the men in the same roles have a little bit easier time. And we did find that particularly with some of the technical engineers, electricians, and that kind of positions that tend to be more male-dominated. Anything else that?
Thank you. There was also the fact that since we're, for example, with this Bison project now, we are a multidisciplinary project, and then that brings more a better mix between men and women. So that was also one of the points that we mentioned, that finally in the end, when you mix different fields of expertise, it also mixes the men and women. Thank you.
So that the online people can hear me? Cool. Okay, so what we said was that this forum is necessary so we can share experiences and also discuss the status of women in different fields and in different disciplines, and how maybe we can work together to either raise it up or balance it out. We've also discussed a couple times that there's a need for maybe regular meetings, but also just more time to discuss these issues and to discuss in this kind of forum. that there needs to be a lot of, we need to improve communications, and it maybe doesn't necessarily have to just do with gender balances, but also amongst different disciplines and from different backgrounds and perspectives, so engineers to ecologists, or even to people working on the ground with our ideas and sort of communicating around in the across the entire flow. Talking about, so there was a question posed which I can research and figure out, and looking at maybe some of the gender balances of the network now compared to previous, and seeing how our network has expanded or evolved over time. And then there was quite a bit of a discussion about competition, hierarchy, leadership. With women working on the same level and maybe feeling a competition amongst your peers of getting in on the entry level, or maybe feeling some sort of competition with women in leadership, or seeing women that maybe had to do it tough, so you have to do it too, or you have to have it rough too, and getting that pressure from a top-down perspective. And as I already said this, that the competition may be fine within the company, but then it's like expanding out, and speaking to other people can then be where you find a lot of conflict rather than within your own immediate working group. Do you think I summarized that quite okay? Cool. We've got 5 minutes. Who's gonna revolutionize the group and tell us, is there anything more to add? Is there anything that we'd like to see? I'm going to make a grand assumption that this is something that people would like to invest in moving forward. And as I said, you can put your names down on the list, and you will be involved in the regular, semi-regular, whatever regular email lists there are. And then I could try to make this group a bit more, make the group a bit more visual also through the IANA platforms as well, maybe in the direction of creating some kind of a working group or a working network, so that we have a bit of visibility in the group, so that this doesn't have to be a one-off kind of thing. And we can try to integrate these sorts of discussions into more, into future workshops and future conferences. Cool? Yay! Everybody's so enthusiastic. Anything to add? Yes.
I think women in ecology can find it very difficult to get personal protective equipment to fit. High-vis. I think that's still an issue that we struggle with. And if you're on site looking like you're wearing your dad's clothes, it doesn't look quite as professional, and it's not as safe. So a bit more pressure to make things practical for women, including facilities on site, it's getting better. Obviously.
Maybe pockets that actually hold things?
Yeah.
That might help. Yeah. Maybe. Cool, yes. The need for better fitting clothes. Better fitting and safer.
Okay, there is also
Yep.
Karin Firmino Carvalho Roel, she said, I am a postdoctoral researcher from Brazil. In Brazil, each year, research and environment has even smallest budget. The difficulty starts with finding a job in road ecology. At the same time, I am a mom, and there is the challenge of organizing time for being a mom and a researcher. And then she said, she is asking, are there special jobs for mom researchers from Latin countries? And, well, this is another topic that we could discuss. And there is also one remark from Georgina Alvarez Jimenez. She's wondering, could women's vision make it more effective to achieve well-implemented solutions? Oh, it's an open question. And could women's vision make it more effective to achieve well-implemented solutions? Is there a specificity? But women visions, but that's a big subject. We can say no and yes. And Wendy Collinson is asking, what are the next steps for Wire? It's been a great to meet. Briefly, Manisha, would you be happy to set up the next one? She's nominating you.
Somehow I always get nominated. Okay, yes, I'm very happy to continue this and set up the next thing, or at least, as I said, collect emails, and we can see what happens moving forward. I think another online meeting might be the best way to facilitate that, since we're everywhere across the globe. So if you want to be involved, please put your email down. If you know my email address, you can also drop me a line later. And the next step, I suppose, is to just have another meeting where we can maybe formalize some action plans or something like that, some goals, something. Maybe the goal of this whole thing is just to know each other, and that's fine too. I don't need to write a report, like, it's fine. But I mean, like, so, but that can't come from me. So that I want that to be a collective decision. But yeah, thanks very much for coming. This was fun.